It,
Do you guys think that this the whole outrage with regards to George Floyd will change anything?
you
We
know,
can be
I
optimistic.
hope by.
yeah. See, Jerry would be the one. You should speak about that. It's like
But
here.
no, in a global sense, in a global sense, na like America's kind of burning at the moment because of that one injustice. Well, amongst other, that was just the camel that, I mean, the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. Okay, it's been happening. But do you
Yeah.
think this outrage, the protest will change anything?
Jerry, I here in the
Uh,
Philippines, I don't think we're not. You know,
We
it.
have our own shit to deal with.
Yeah, it's different things, but the same. Like like it's not racism, it's classism.
Yeah.
yeah.
But we don't. I I think Jerry, you're the best person. 'Cause you're right there.
Uh, muna ang goal, I guess, karon sa mga tao nga nag-spread og kanang mga Black Lives Matter nga hashtag na awareness unya attached sa awareness kay na murag kanang action nga like mas dapat mo educate kung kinsa yung gi-vote unsa ilang gi-support niya mo napoy mga actions nga mo donate to kanang defunding like police or making sure nga ang funds padulong sa saktong lugar, helping families, helping many communities. But muna ang worry gid nga after like let's say after a few months mobalik ra gyapon tanan kay humana ang issue. So like dapat na sustained nga kanang commitment o reminders nga dapat move forward tadto. So I don't know. It lisod kay without like it change ni mo ang system pero ang hope kay tungod aning movement plus like social media na may tabo. I don't know. Doing my
Is there
best to
a
help.
thing they're asking for there other than justice? Because lately it's about justice for George Floyd, diba? But on a bigger scale, what is it that they're asking for that they want the government to do? Like, if you're talking about trying to stop, the whole redlining thing, is that the issue or? Because it's a very broad spectrum of racism
Yep.
that affects them in many aspects.
Yep.
Is there like a certain movement na saying we want these things to change in the country? Is there like a master list or like a list of demands, if you will?
So far as ako nakita na may focus siya on like police reform. May duha ka
Okay,
book.
specifically, please.
I feel like muna ang focus sa kay mo may nakita sa mga tao, di ba? Hopefully like mo brings just a broader issues nga kung research ang mga tao nga anong muna itabos police, makakita din sila nga mo din itabos sa communities, i-oppress sila sa kadsauna. So hopefully na ay effect downstream. But current ang tanan focus ang makitaan kay about like police.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Weird.
medyo concept siya kay like na movement na duha ka buok ako nakita nga push nga solution isa kay i-defund ang police meaning like dito mag-train ko no i-kuan ko no ibalik slag training about like unsa ang pag-handle og mga like cases sa
Crisis
community.
negotiation, crisis management.
Di nga niya napoy mo ka ng mga sa ano pag-approach og kanang kuan situations nga dili immediately escalate but apparently ang counter na kay sukad sa una nanan sila nga training but di gyapon siya effective kay tungod ang isa sad ko ka problema kay ang police there na unions nga kusgan kayo nga lisod sa fire daw sa ako nadunggan but isa sa na siya ka reform nga gusto na i-update nga accountable na mga police. But na po isa ka movement nga murag nang i-totally abolish yun ang police. Niya, murag ang big concern diha kay murag kinsa may tawagan nimo kung kuan diba kung may problem but apparently like there is sa US daw ang police gi-start daw para mo control kuno black neighborhoods sukad sa una gi-start na sila para kuno mo enforce atong redlining, mo enforce atong segregation. So at the very start sa ilang organization, racist dikit sila daan. So dagan sa roots nga or bisan maayo bitaw. But ang point ato niya, if i-defund ang police di ko no mo stop, di ko no maka-prevent og crime, mo stop the crime. Kay di man murag ang crime happen rin gyud, di ba? Murag di man siya murag kanang
Minority.
oh, kung na police murag di ko mag-crime, it's still happening. It's happening every day. Doesn't make sense. So ang solution na kay ilang gipangita unsa aon pag kana manage a society in if one ay police unsa to pag make sure nga ang community is accountable sa ilang communities around them, yung ma-supported sa government nga ma dili gubot like same I guess sa arguments sa drugs, di ba? Like drugs kay di man murag kana ilang prevent drugs patyol ang mga tao, di ba? That's more hard solution mo tabo sa Pilipinas karon, but di ba ning sa more social issue nga nganong ga drugs in the first place, nga nganong unsa may tabo sa pamilya, unsa may tabo nila nga root cause sa problem nga ma-prevent sa future, or ana gyud ang argument bitaw. So interesting siya kay ang police karon we're gitanaw na to as safety kunoy, but in reality karon kay di siya necessarily nga sila mo nagda sa kon sa safety kay more current society mo ay police gitanaw na ko safe man ta.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing, because I think there must be some European countries where, like the smaller ones, basically they don't have police. Like,
Curious ako ginharan lang.
no, what we were talking about earlier, like it's the community that manages the norms, and then like norms is a powerful
Ano?
thing, no? Like
The sheriff of the Philippines.
no, but like
deputy
embarrassment, excommunication, those are powerful
Right.
things in a community. Like
You know,
what I
like
found,
village ta sauna, di ba? Like tribe ta sauna.
Yeah.
Minsan to nato.
yeah, but the thing is, the argument there, it only works when you're like small.
A
The
certain
bigger you are,
size.
mona,
So Switzerland and the Vatican City have no uniform police.
oh really?
Who?
Siga,
Who's the other one?
ang
Vatican
police.
and
According to what is this? Quora.com. Switzerland and Vatican City have no uniform police.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Switzerland also allows heroin.
Switzerland crime rate.
Yeah, but and then like the drug, there's no drug problem in Switzerland. Like there's so much support to people. Like even if you did heroin, it's legal.
The argument there, like, is it works in smaller communities.
Yeah.
Now, what then? I don't. It's strange because like what? So is the would you rather have a lot of really small communities, or would you rather you one big community? So in our sense, like countries. So like if the a version of it, let's say in the Philippines, would be Cebu is its own governing body, Manila is its own governing body.
Isn't that the federal government?
Yeah, federal government. That's what it is, basically.
No, but like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not smart enough.
No, Philippines is a Republican government, man. So you know everything has to come from the say has to come from Malacanang, basically, and then the governor enforces it. It's not like the states, like California you can smoke weed, even though it's federally illegal.
Actually, you're right, Koy. That's what happened yesterday, I think. So Governor Gwen wanted to allow back riding and motorcycles again for Cebu. So people can move from one point to another, because right now that's not allowed. And then when she allowed it, I think Duterte basically said no, she can't do that.
Yeah.
So because his thinking was if he allows it for her, then there are going to be all other provinces who will want to do the same thing. I don't know, man. Like
na ba? Like kuan sa na pag-run nga I'm sure na yung mga tao naka-figure out na that. I don't know if na right answer, di ba? Like even sa like large companies,
yeah.
Kag policy nga ma-apply sa tanan but na ginay edge cases or na ginay cases nga exceptions sa imong rule which dapat nimo i-account yapon. I guess mo nang kung maghimo kag law or something dapat ma-account nimo ang kaning mga like unsahon pag apply sa different use cases, which is like I'm the lawyer. Muna trabaho Jeros, di ba?
There's a really interesting because a week ago I was hanging out with my friend. He's a physicist. Um, we talked. I asked him about like y- like Newton's law. Isaac Newton's law. The basic laws of physics that we follow. So like
So many things
that
law.
every action there's a
Reaction.
equal and opposite reaction, and then if an object is moving and there's no like nothing stops it, it'll just carry on moving.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the basic principles of physics that we follow on a daily basis on our everyday lives. But apparently, as objects get smaller, those night
Okay.
deviations sa laws of sa kanang Newton's law doesn't apply to.
Mm.
So now they have to have new
Or
theories, and it's crazy how like it basically from there you realize that, okay, on a certain scale a certain law of physics is applicable, pero it doesn't when it's you start to go to like the deviations when it gets smaller. I think it works. There's a parallel of that with like society said na, like policing. Like no police sounds like a good idea, and we just kind of thing. But as a society gets bigger and gets more difficult to manage, like ang deviation ba?
yeah, stuff, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but like I know for me personally, like I have no interest. For example, that's a big reason why I have no interest in like uh, creating a big company or joining a big company. Like it just adds too much. Like I can imagine what it must be like having this pandemic right now, and then all these businesses have had to change in one way or another, and you're in charge of like let's say you had a business of like 400 people. Oh, let's say like ano, like let's say Paes Holdings, they have 1,000 plus employees, no? Uh, and I can't imagine uh, what kind of stress or what kind of decisions si Bunny Pajes has to make for all of those employees. And he had to basically pause everything for 2 months. And then after that pause, he had to figure out, okay, where are we going from here? And I'm sure there were a lot of hard decisions to make. Like you can't just, you know, I mean, if you're in charge of 1,000 people, I can't imagine. Like it takes a certain type of person to be able to do that, no?
Mm.
And
yeah, gotta think in systems, right? Gotta think in like implications on that. So
yeah,
we
because
That's
can't
what
do
I
that.
always found about big corporations. Because I've worked in them, and it seems that every year the targets for profit always increases, and
which I think is a mistake.
Sure.
it's a mistake. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
growth
because
for growth's
you're
sake is
assuming
not a
that
good thing.
you're assuming that the market will just make space for your targets instead of like what's weird to me is that instead of like fixing the inefficiencies in the system, they would rather just make more money to make up for those inefficiencies. And then in saying that, in those inefficiencies, it's not necessarily something na more administrative. It's more like people's egos and the politics, because at the end of the day it's just a group of people working together. It's we might write like laws and bills and shit like that, but at the end of the day, it's if you just approach everything pragmatically, like everybody has the same, like everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants to have food on their table, roof on their head, and then be safe, and then like just be okay at
And
the end
then
of the day. But then, yeah,
no, what I realized is when you just want those things, it really doesn't take much. Like you don't need
much. Yeah, exactly.
a lot.
You don't need to like hike up your targets every year. Yeah.
I think that's like these big corporations. I know some of us work for big corporations, but like, but um,
No.
oh, yeah, but like growth for growth's sake, I think is there has to be a reason for it. But I feel no.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah. I think sa if imong company kay beholden by stakeholders, dapat
ah,
ka like
That's a
kuan.
different story.
So of course nakay obligation to the market nga mag-present og numbers ng saka, di ba? So muna yung incentive ninyo nga mo
Nice.
deliver. So based on muna yung motivation sa inyong company, ang tanan production kay dapat dedicated na do. Which is like ang mga dagko nga company, sure, na mamay nga company nga maka focus on quality first niya, mo believes lang nga mo balik tungod sa quality di na mo sakang growth, but nabay uban nga mo focus lang gid sa numbers nga himo tani nga products para lang mo dako, which is like annoying.
I think that's actually a problem. Like I feel like if
Yeah.
any company, like once they like have an IPO, for example, and they're in the stock market, and then they have a bunch of people like you and me basically say, hey, we need this price to go up. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's a problem. Like it's very hard for there are certain companies that I guess Murag, you need to become bigger, no? This might be a bad
Sure.
example, but let's say Amazon, for example, like for them to do the work that they are doing, it probably makes sense for them to be as big as possible. No, I
Right, to scale like global reach and that, so they need all like
Have a lot of unhappy workers. Aren't they like unionizing? Or Amazon has no union. Sakto ba?
Mm.
no,
yeah.
but that's a part of the consequence of becoming
Yeah.
really big.
Why?
Like if
They're
you
going
have
efficiency over everything.
yeah, let's say you have a company with 100 people and 1% is unhappy. That's one person. Who gives a shit? Fire that guy. you know. But if you have a company of like like 100,000,
Or for car.
no, but like just an example, but like if you have a company of 100,000 people and
Yeah.
1% are unhappy, that's 1,000 people.
And I'm the bully, motherfucker.
No, but diba? That's the problem when you
Yeah.
have like bigger. That's what like I really like what's that company's name? 37 Signals with that Jer, the one who wrote Remote Rework. Uh,
Uh,
I forgot the guy's name.
yeah, Slum Base Camp guy.
Yeah, the Basecamp guy, like
Jason Fried.
Jason Fried. Oh, yeah, them. They're just making good products, having a good like work environment, just chugging
Yeah.
along.
Yeah, man.
What's their product like?
Basecamp?
What do they
Right.
make? Climbing gear?
No.
Project management software.
Software.
Yeah.
Base camp over Everest ba?
Yeah. Most gusto ko nga na ba? Someday. Di ba? Like mission driven, small, not necessarily small, but at least like kanang enough nga maka ila pa ka sa mga tao sa company.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
their story, Jay, is so they started at Basecamp, but yeah, somewhere along the way, they actually got what's his Amazon guy? What's his name?
Just
Jeff
Uh-huh.
basically.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos to invest in them, but he basically invested without really, like I don't care what happens. He basically gave them money because he likes what they're doing. No,
Yeah.
but they're profitable. They're a profitable company, but profits don't. They don't. That's not the gauge of their success.
Mm.
No, they have a lot of like books, remote rework, uh, good books actually. Like remote right now would probably be a very important book for a lot of people handling companies.